everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to Mystical Munchies featuring the official Diablo Cookbook. We're starting out the official Diablo Cookbook with the appetizer, Bandit's Bacon Candy. As this is a cookbook that's got stories, let's tell this one. It has been said that this treat is good enough to risk life and limb to filch. I first sampled it years ago at a Lunisad Harvest Festival, a somewhat subdued affair even in its heyday, with a crop of tattered tents sprouting from the hamlets outside the capital's gates. Bailey and I were preoccupied serving the tavern's spicy bacon candy to the locals swarming his booth when a man cut the line and made off with an entire platter. Bailey said that the man resurfaced 3 days later, strung up along the Justinian Road near the Wolf Gate, likely having stolen something of greater value than our confections. Well, let's find out if it's good enough to pilfer. The ingredients are waiting for us at the table, so let's move in that direction. You'll probably hear the oven chirping in the background as we make this recipe, but that means that's because we've got it preheating to 375 right now. To make this recipe, we're going to need a pound of bacon, half a cup of brown sugar, half a teaspoon of cracked black pepper, a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and half a tablespoon of crushed red pepper flakes. Boy, do I hope this recipe isn't that spicy. Hopefully, with burying everything in a half a cup of brown sugar, it won't be too bad. But let's move into the kitchen and start putting this recipe together. As I've mentioned, the oven is preheating to 375 right now. In the meantime, we're going to take a baking sheet. We're going to line it with a silicone liner, parchment paper, aluminum foil, or a wire rack. I featured this pan before on Mystical Munchies, and this is another day that we're calling for it. I've got the wire rack, but I'm also going to put some aluminum foil in here as well to make cleanup a little bit easier. There we go. And there's the wire rack going on top of that. Hang on one more thing before I go get the bacon, because that'll be the next order of business. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the bacon, I might want scissors for this, and we're going to line it on the tray until the sheet pan is full, ideally without overlapping pieces, but I don't think we'll be able to avoid overlapping some of the pieces. Because anytime I've put bacon on this pan, I've always had to overlap pieces, so I suspect this will end up being no different. If I can ever find how I want to cut this. There we go. All right, I'm working with the bacon off shot right now. I finally managed to get it separated out. Okay. I may be wrong in that we're able to avoid overlapping, but I doubt it. We'll give it the old college try, though. Although college, for me, is long behind me. But we won't get into that because telling that story just makes me feel old. Yeah, we're gonna end up with bacon overlapping here, which I kind of expected that anyway. Let's see if we can make the overlap as minimal as possible, though. Just about done with the bacon here. Okay. That's all of it there. That can hit the bin. I'll give my hands a quick wash. All right, now we can bring the bacon out of shot and bring the spices in shot. We've got a small bowl in shot, and that's what's going to bring this. That's what's bringing the spices into shot. Now we're going to take the brown sugar, which I've got right here. Hopefully that's about half a cup of that. Yep. Brown sugar can go back up. That can go right there. Half a teaspoon of black pepper. Trying to not send any of my measuring spoons flying. Pepper can go back up as well. Preferably while staying closed. Quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And half a tablespoon of crushed red pepper flakes. Okay. And we'll give that a mix up. Can already sense a bit of the heat coming from here. All right, the oven should be coming up to temperature any minute now. Jeez. I don't know if it's getting to be that time of the year where colds are starting to come back again, or it's just me sensing the heat of this. But I think we're just about good there, so now I want to wait for the oven to come back into shot, or come up to temperature before we go to the next step of the recipe. Just as I was getting ready to start washing dishes, naturally, the oven comes right up to temperature. So we've got the bacon back in shot. Our next step here is we're going to sprinkle the spice mixture over the top of the slices and pat it down gently. A little bit of a pat down. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to move the camera out of the way a little bit so I can bake this until it's brown and crispy, or up to 40 minutes. I'm going to set the timer for 40 minutes. And we'll come back to that in about 40 minutes. I lied a little bit. We're actually coming back to this recipe after I've given it about 15 to 20 minutes to cool, coming out of the oven. So here's our first look at the bacon. Everything looks great there. I'm a little concerned about seeing the red pepper flakes there, though. But what we're going to do here is we're going to start lifting this off the rack, and it's still a little bit soggy. Well, it's not as crispy as it probably should be, but I think we can deal with that. Whoa. Careful about dropping the knife. Anyway, we're going to cut this in half. Put some of it on a plate. And then we're going, actually, let's go ahead and cut this in half now. Let's go ahead and cut it all up. That way I can move the pan into the dishwater so it can start to soak. Because given that we had sugar on here, it's probably going to need some time to soak. All right. Okay. So we've got all that. Right, that can move into the dishwater. And then we are going to take the bacon over to my desk for the taste test. I've got some of the bacon right here. Looking at seeing the red pepper flakes on here, I'm a little bit nervous about how spicy this is going to be, but there's only one way to find out, and that's if I shut up and take a bite. So, let's see what I think on the taste test. It's pretty good. Ooh, definitely on the sweet side, and yeah, there's a kick to it, so be aware of that. But it is a bacon recipe, and my family really likes bacon, but they're probably not going to, a lot of them probably aren't going to get along with this much spice, which I can, well, I don't know if it's spice or if there's just a kick to it, but yeah, either way, there's definitely a kick to this one that you want to be aware of. But that's another episode of Mystical Munchies in the books. Next week, we're making the appetizer, Hoodwinked Honey Carrots. As for the games, tomorrow we're starting the first of our 2 fall campaigns for the year, as we start the Expeditions mode for Astro Knight's Eternity. Wednesday, we're stepping back into our background playthrough of Interceptor Ace Volume 1 from Compass Games. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.